Gonna start. All right, so we're going to start off lying on our backs with the ball on your lower back, on the sacrum, so below the arch. And since this has more effect when it's on your skin, if you want to, this would actually be just sliding down the back of your pants to place the ball right on the sacrum. And we're going to start off with, and so again, if you don't have the ball, if you do this with a block, this first part is just activating the parasympathetic nervous system. So when we elevate the hips above the heart, this helps to relax the body. So just take a couple of full deep breaths. As you breathe in, let the breath come all the way down to the belly. And as you exhale, the breath releases out of the belly. And now you can visualize the movement of the diaphragm. As you breathe in, the diaphragm flows down to the belly. As you breathe out, the diaphragm flies up underneath the rib cage. So I invite you to do this at a slow pace that feels comfortable for you. And then you can even challenge yourself with some breath retentions. So when you breathe into the belly, just hold the breath, let it linger, let it circulate. And then when you exhale, the same thing. Let the body feel maybe even a little uncomfortable with the length of the hold of the breath. So just take a couple of rounds of that. We're going to integrate some movement. I'm not sure how this is going to work with the block underneath it. You may need to just make your pelvic tilts a little bit smaller. But we're going to begin. You can take your hands on your hips. And as you inhale, I like to take my thumbs and just press them on the back of my hips and roll the hips forward. And then as you exhale, roll your hips back. So you can do this with the aid of your hands at first, and then release the hands out to the side so that now it's the muscles surrounding the lower back area that are doing this. And again, if you've got the ball, and especially if you have the ball on the skin, we have superficial fascia, and we have deep fascia, we have many layers of fascia. The superficial fascia is underneath the skin. So maybe you can imagine how having this ball on the skin helps to hydrate and maybe mobilize this superficial fascia a little bit more. And now just pause for a moment. Now this next movement, again, I'm not sure how it's going to work with the block, is subtle. Don't worry if you're not feeling exactly what I say. We can sort of check in afterwards. But you're gonna try to sort of wind up the skin around the ball by walking your feet over to the right just a little bit. So you're creating a little pinch on the skin. And then just pause. So just when you get to that first sensation of pinch, pause, breathe, and then just a couple of pelvic tilts here. Now, some of this work with the fascia, we get it going, but it's going to continue. It's going to continue to get hydrated and open up even after we do this movement. And then just pause in a neutral spine, walk back through center, and then walk the legs towards the left. Just again, just a little bit of pinch with the skin and the ball. a deep breath and then a couple of tilt and then flatten. And now come back to the center. Press into the feet enough to lift the hips. Slide the ball out of the way. Maybe readjust your clothing if necessary and lower the hips down. Draw the right leg in towards you, clasp behind the thigh. On your inhale, straighten the leg, flex, and point as you bend down. Now, you may not get the leg all the way straight. You flex the foot when you get to your level of straightness, and then you point it as you come to bending. And this is what's lengthening, stretching, and flossing around that sciatic nerve area. And if you have, experienced sensations triggered by the sciatic nerve, you want to just really err on the side of gentle. We're just going to do 10 of these. So you don't want any pinching or tingling. So you just don't extend the leg all the way. So you just go to the point where this feels comfortable for you. And then lower that leg down. And again, this is something that, we'll continue to sort of, just like flossing your teeth, you'll continue to benefit from that movement. So we're going to do the other side. You hug the left leg in, you extend and flex, and then you point and bend. And you'll do this 10 times in rhythm with your breath. And just noticing maybe where the limitations might be in extending the leg. It might be a tight calf. It might be a tight hamstring. And make sure this feels okay on the knees. Just 2 more. And you can lower this down. Now let your arms come out to a T, windshield wiper your feet apart, and then let the legs just flow from side to side. And come back to the center, heel to the feet. And we're just going to come up through sitting and into our table pose, onto hands and knees. Now fingers spread wide. Slide the shoulder blades down towards your hips. And a couple of rounding and arching, a couple of cat and cow poses. And again, include the neck so that you're getting the stretch all the way through the spine. And then come into your neutral spine. And extend the left leg back. Toes are curled under, and there's this little press and release. I think we've talked before about the calf muscle is key in helping to circulate the blood. It helps to pump the blood throughout the body. And in Chinese medicine, blood is energy. Like how well your blood is flowing is related to the energy you feel in the body. So just getting that pump hydrated. And now float the left leg up. Maybe take your right hand and just measure the hips, make sure it's level. Your core is engaged by drawing the belly button back and then up towards the ribs. And then maybe you extend the right arm. Maybe you take the arm and leg away from the center. That's going to challenge your balance. And imagine you're doing this in water and then you bring it back to the midline. Just do that a couple more times. We'll just do a total of 3. Your gaze is to the floor so that the neck stays elongated. Lower the right hand down and then take the left leg over to the right. Look over the right shoulder. Breathe into the left rib cage. And imagine that breath inflating the ribs, creating space in between each individual rib. And then let's come back to your table pose. Couple of cat and calves to rinse out the spine. You come to neutral and extend the right leg back, and let's just hydrate and pump out. Sorry, the left leg is back. Sorry, I misspoke.
Oh, it's the right.
Oh, it is the right.
Yes.
So I said what I meant, I just didn't do it. Thank you. I was wondering why that calf felt nice and stretched already. All right, float the right leg up. And then you can use your left hand to just check the level of the hips, engage the core. And maybe you extend the left arm forward. Maybe you take arm and leg away from the midline and back to center. Just a total of 3 times. Then you lower the left hand down. Take the right leg over towards the left. Look over that left shoulder. And breathe into the right ribs. And back to center. Toes curl under. Nice little stretch for the arch of the feet. And then float the knees up. Press the hips back. And just hover here for a moment if you can. It's called crouching dog. And then begin to stretch the legs. And just pedal them out. Again, you can visualize those calf muscles just lengthening slowly as the muscles warm up. The body begins to figure out what you're asking it to do. And then let's walk the hands back to the feet. Nice deep bend in the knees. And let the forearms rest on the thighs. Relax the head. So forearms on the thighs, supporting the lower back. And then begin to just straighten the legs. They don't have to come all the way straight, and then bend them. And just warming up the legs, warming up the knees, warming up the ankles. Then pause when the legs are stretched. Hands come onto the hips. Imagine you're stretching the mat between the heels. So try pulling the heels apart. Notice if you feel a broadening in the lower back as you do that. And then inhale, rise. Take a gentle back bend. Pause here. Allow the front of the body to find some space here. Feel the stretch along the front of the body. Allow the shoulders to drape down the back. Release the hands. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold halfway. Press the hands into the legs, nice long spine. And then inhale, chair pose. Notice how the shoulders are feeling here. And then inhale, rise. Exhale, release the arms down. All right, so we'll do a quick little rollout of the feet. And we'll do it with the balls in the tote. If you don't have a tote, a sock can work. You could also do just one ball. You may want to be close to a wall or a piece of furniture if this throws your balance off a little bit. And we're going to just start with the, you know what, let me just zoom this in on my foot. Get a little closer here. So the nice thing about the two balls is you can go right in between it. So here I've got my right foot and I'm going on the pinky side. And I'm actually getting the top of my foot also. And now I'm going to switch. I'm going to do the big toe side and I'm going to roll this out. And this also can feel less intense than a single ball. Now we're going to just do the ball of the foot. We're just going to press and release. And you could focus this on just one of the balls. The other thing about this tote is the netting can help to sort of grip the skin also. And then we're just going to roll the whole foot. You're just going to do sort of freestyle here. So the fascia on the bottoms of our feet have an effect all the way up our legs, even all the way up to our shoulders. Just take two more little rolls and then we're going to switch to the other foot. Again, we'll start off the pinky side. Rolling, you're getting the top and the bottom and the side of the foot. And you decide how much pressure, and that's why it can be good to have a piece of furniture or something to rest on or to balance on. But it also, I'm doing the big toe side now, it can also help you just regulate how much weight, because the more you press into it, the more sensation you're getting. Now, if you do have plantar fasciitis and there's inflammation here, you probably don't want to press hard at all. You want to go, just very, very gentle because it's already inflamed. So you don't want to irritate that. All right, so you've done both sides. Then we're just going to sort of press the ball of the foot. So think about, trying to separate, just like we breathe into the ribs, trying to create space between the ribs. We're trying to create space in between the individual, I think on the toe, they're phalanges, right? Or is that the fingers? Metatarsals, maybe. All right, now just roll out, do a little freestyle. Just kind of a little rinse. All right. And we'll just finish that up. And now I'd like to do a little release on the shoulder. This is something I've been doing most mornings. It's not going to take, we won't spend too much time on this, but you will need the ball and a wall. If you don't have the ball, you could try. I think the sensation might be a lot with these in the tote. I'll demonstrate something you can do with them in the tote. Ideally, you want to start with the inflated ball. So we're going to I'm going to start with the left side. The ball's going to go right on the outside of the arm. You could do the balls in the tote also. But like I said, the balls in the toad are going to have a lot of sensation, so maybe you don't lean into it as much. And you're just going to roll side to side here. Is this view okay, or do I need to get it closer? Feel like maybe I should have it. Here, let me just bring it a little closer so you can see. Here's this. So you're here, you're just rolling it out. Now, let the arm roll. You're swinging the arm like a pendulum. So this is particularly good if you experience frozen shoulder. Now, if you have the range of motion, the arm comes up and down. And you might have to readjust it. Up, and you're going right into the armpit. Yeah, this looks good. Just one more time, then we're going to switch to the other side. I like to switch by rolling it across my upper back here. And then you get to the other side. Same thing. You're just going to roll it out at first. You're just sort of warming up the muscles in the fascia.
Charlotte, what are we feeling when we're doing this? Because I don't feel much.
So it's very gentle. And I think, Jane, from the view that I see you at,
Yeah.
less on the back, more on the side.
Okay, okay.
I thought I was
Yeah.
seeing you on the back. You're not going to feel a lot on the back. And so, Jane, just take a peek. Just take a peek. It's much smaller. I'm not rolling. My back
Okay,
isn't exposed.
okay.
And also, if you could roll up your sleeve,
Yeah.
let the ball touch the sleeve. So we're on the deltoid. So we're not even going to the shoulder blade.
Okay.
And then you're up, and now you're getting, sort of the serratus is right here, but I'm not going back there.
Okay.
Does that feel?
It doesn't feel like much, but it's definitely different part of the body.
Very, very subtle.
Okay.
So it's not like a stretch, it's more like a hydration, and you're just kind of lubricating. It still seems like you're a little bit more to the back instead of the side. Like, because you want to get the front too, like here.
Charlotte, are we keeping our body straight forward or is it turning as we roll?
So it's to this, it's,
Yeah, I see you. Okay.
Yeah.
I just, my phone is so small, I can't see from a distance.
Let's I put my glasses on.
yeah, this is the challenge of Zoom, I think.
Yep.
Dee Dee, how does that feel for you? Just give me a thumbs up if it feels all right. Yeah, okay. All right, so just make sure you do the other side. And we're just going to finish up and then and move to traditional yoga. And Barbara, I can't see. Oh yeah, you're way back there. Yeah, with the two balls, you could even, just lean here. This is a nice release, and it actually sort of encourages the head of the bone into the shoulder socket. All right. So finish up and we will come back to our mats. How was that for you, Laurel?
It was nice. I do that regularly. I just do it with a large ball, a larger kind of body size ball.
Yep.
And I do lots of things against the wall with balls. I love it.
Yeah, good. Good, good, good. All right, so let's come to our mats and we'll do a little flow sequence that will continue to sort of stretch the fascia while having some fun. Set your blocks up at the front. Okay, on your inhale, raise the arms up, take a gentle back bend. Just notice if they feel any different. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Pause here. Slide the shoulders down the back. Then inhale, come in your chair pose. This is another place you might notice a little difference in the shoulders. Then inhale, rise, take a gentle back bend. Exhale, float the hands down. Next inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Step the right leg back for warrior two. So left knee pointing to the short end. You can even use your right hand. Just begin to open up the hips, open up the shoulders. Straighten that left knee. And then bend it. Just do that 2 more times. Again, really taking the time to warm up the muscles, warm up the joints. Pause. Now arms reach up, open up, flex the hands. Really press out through the palms of the hands, and then drop the right ear to the right shoulder as you drop the fingertips of the left hand down. Flex the left hand, take your head through center, drop the left ear. Point the right fingers down. Come back to center, neutral hand, so the fingertips face out to the side. You can even wiggle them, jazz fingers. Then inhale, straighten and reach. Exhale, palms down. Yeah, just do a couple more. Nice. Pause in your warrior two. Flip the left palm up, reach up and back. Once again, feeling that stretch. Keep that left knee bent so you feel the ribs move away from that hip. The hip is heavy. It stays stationary. That's your anchor, but the ribs are light and they move away. Then inhale through warrior two. Keep going. Hands come to the blocks or a chair. Step the back foot up. Inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs. Again, lengthen the spine. Slide the shoulders. Check the neck. The gaze should be about 2 feet out in front of you, so your neck stays neutral. And then step the left leg back for warrior two. Use your left hand, slide the hip, slide the shoulder back, straighten the right knee, and bend it. Just do that a couple more times, total of 3. And then you pause. Reach the arms up and out, flex the palms. Drop the left ear to the left shoulder, point the right fingertips down. Come up through center and switch. Back to center. You're going to reach up and down. Palms up. Palms down. Just one more. Nice. Flip the right palm, reach up and back. Right leg is the anchor. And the ribs stretch away. Again, sometimes it can be helpful to visualize an animal or a baby and how they just organically stretch just for, because it feels good. Instead of, trying to overstretch or get somewhere, just stretch to feel good. Then inhale through warrior two, windmill the hands, and step the back foot up to meet the front. Inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold forward. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Right leg steps back, come right into your warrior two. 3 rounds in and out. So this movement can be helpful, just warming up the joints, gently warming up the muscles. Pause here. Flip the left palm and reverse. Then on your inhale, come through warrior two. Left hand or forearm on the thigh, right arm overhead. We're going to flow through 3 times. Inhale through the center and then reverse. So lower body stays stationary. And your core is engaged. On the 3rd side angle, pause here. Press into the pinky side of the right foot. Feel that stretch on the right side of the body. Roll the right shoulder back. Spin your chest in the direction of the ceiling. And then inhale, rise. 1 more, reverse. Inhale through warrior two. Hands to the blocks. Float the back leg up and pause. Level off the hip. Bring that right knee into the ribs. Drop your nose towards the knee. And then step it down. Inhale, rise. Gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs. Nice long spine. Left leg steps back. Open into your warrior two. When you get here, you start to flow in and out. And again, maybe just notice where you feel the muscles stretching. Just sort of watch your body like an observer. Pause after 3 rounds. Flip the right palm and reverse. And notice if you feel a difference on the 2 sides of the body. And now we're going to flow through warrior two into side angle. Really root down through the feet. You do this at your pace with your breath. 3 times. We'll meet up in the side angle. Rooting into the pinky side of that left foot. Now, be mindful not to collapse into this right leg. You press into the forearm to make space along the ribs. Spin the left shoulder back, rotating the chest up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, warrior two. Exhale, windmill the hands to the blocks. The back leg lifts and you lower the hip. Bring the knee into the chest, drop the nose to knee. And then you step it down. Inhale, you rise. Gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Stepping the right leg back 1 more time. Warrior two. And then this time, hands come to the hip. We're transitioning into triangle pose. Take that hand either above or below the knee. Begin to straighten the leg. And roll the right hip back. Roll the right shoulder back. Maybe you extend the right arm up. And then once again, visualize animal or baby. Just organically stretching Like, where do you need opening in the body? And then you rise, rebend the front knee, and reverse. So we just did a little compression here. So find that space again in this reverse warrior. Inhale through your warrior two. Keep going. Hands come to the blocks. Step the back foot up. Inhale, rise. Gentle back bend. Exhale, fold half. Left leg steps back. Warrior two. Left hand on the left hip. Right hand either above or below the knee. And then begin to straighten that leg. Roll the left shoulder back, extend the left arm up if it feels okay. Now, be mindful of this shoulder that it's not going behind. You don't want the shoulder moving. It's the ribs that spin and the chest that spins. That's why this can be good to do at a wall. And then reband the front knee, come up to your warrior two, and reverse. Inhale through warrior two. Keep going, hands to the block. Step the back foot up to meet the front. And inhale, rise. Gentle back bend. Exhale, fold forward. Let the hands come to the legs and keep pressing the hands down the legs until you come into a full forward fold, whatever that looks like for you. And just let the head, if it's comfortable, just let it sort of dangle. You let your body dangle like seaweed. Bend your knees enough that you can touch the floor, that your hands can touch the floor. And let's step back to a table pose. Walking the hands forward for Anahata Asana. So the hips stay up in the air. And the forehead, maybe you take a block or your balls, the yoga tune-up balls under the forehead. This feels pretty nice. And I'll just demonstrate what I'm doing. I'm just kind of rolling my head on the balls and it's just rolling out my forehead. And it feels pretty good. While I'm in my Anahata Asana or puppy pose. And if you've got something under your forehead, remove it. Slither your way into your Sphinx pose. Now, if this is too much on the lower back, then you drop down into your crocodile pose, where forehead rests on the back of the hands. Now, you're still getting a back bend in that pose. And breathe. Just notice any shifts that might be happening in your body as the muscles on the front of the hips, maybe they're releasing some of their sort of locked in shortness pose. They're relaxing, and you may notice, can be subtle and slow, but you may notice that a more gentle arch is just creeping into your lower back. Now you're welcome to stay here, or if you're looking for something that's a little bit more strengthening and active, toes curl under. Take the time here to just stretch the arches of the feet. Can you stretch the pinky toe? Sometimes that pinky toe sneaks out of the stretch, so just see if you can get it involved. Engage the core by drawing the belly button back and up towards the ribs. Press into the forearms and you lift up. Now you may need to walk the feet forward a little bit. Really press through the heels. Activate the glutes, activate the core. Keep your gaze down towards the floor. So so you're not inviting tension into the neck. And just take 5 more breaths. And release down. Let's come all the way down to crocodile, where the forehead rests on the hands. The knees bend, and you can let the legs flow from side to side. And release that down. We're going to do that one more time. You can come into Sphinx pose and either stay here, just working on releasing the lower back, or you come into the more active option of forearm plank. Now, knees can be down as well. I should have mentioned that before. Now, as you're here, notice if there's any area that's working a little too hard. Maybe it's the shoulders. If so, can you slide the shoulders away from the ears? Can you think about hugging the bottom tips of the shoulders together? Can you activate the legs a little bit more by pressing out through the heel? Can you engage the core? Maybe imagine there's a block between your thighs. You're spinning the thighs inward. That activates the lower belly, that transverse abdominal muscle. Just 5 more breaths. And you release down. Come into your crocodile. Knees bend and let the legs flow. And now release the legs down. Now, if you've got the soft ball, otherwise you could use a pillow or a rolled up blanket. We're gonna come into half frog, and this ball, I'm gonna do the right side. The ball is just above the hip. I'll demonstrate. It's just right here, and I'm gonna be belly down. So I'm in the half frog, the knees bent, and this ball is just, the hip bone's right in the middle of it. And then you can, if you can, let your forehead rest. And then a little bit of pelvic tilt. You're just getting a little bit of a massage here. And then you could take that ball, move it to under the knee. And then this, it's just another little gentle roll. So the foot's on the floor and you're just rolling out. Just above the knee. And then we're going to switch to the other side. You'll transition just by lying on the belly. Notice if there's any subtle difference between the left and right side of the body. And you'll come into half frog, and the ball goes, again, just the hip bone is just sort of right in the middle of that ball. And you're breathing. And this may be enough. It may be enough just to lie here and to breathe on it. If you want to do the pelvic tilts, there's the arching the spine and then the tucking. And we've got a lot of fascia. And as I was mentioning in the beginning, as you know, as things change, as we age, as the estrogen drops, the hips and the shoulders can show up with just a different amount of stiffness. And by sort of lubricating this fascia, we can slide it just to the outside of the knee. And if you don't have this large ball, I think on the outside of the knee, you could probably do the balls in the tote. It might be too much sensation for some. And release that when you're ready. You come into your supine prone, and the forehead is resting on the back of the hands. And then press up through table. Toes curl under. Stretch the back. Inhale through table. And then just very gently let the hips lower just to the point that feels comfortable for you. On the shoulders and on the hips in particular. And we're just going to flow between those two. And you come to neutral. And we're going to come onto our backs. If you've got the ball, you'll use this. If not, then a rolled up blanket. You may want to have a block handy for your head. I'm not sure if you're going to need it or not. And the ball we're going to place on the upper back, ball or blanket. That's where maybe you want to have the block handy. Now we're going to breathe. This might feel like a pretty significant stretch or opening. With these balls, you can always let out some of the air. With the blanket, you can always adjust the fold. Just take a couple of breaths here. And just to let you know where we're going, we're going to sort of open up. And if you've got the ball, this would work to just do a little bit of a swish, swish side to side. And again, you could put it, right on the skin if you had clothing that supported that. But we're going to be taking this to the side. We'll be doing a little bit more shoulder opening. And really important to just make sure that you're breathing. So I'll just be giving you gentle reminders to breathe. All right, now we're going to roll to our side. And I think most of you, if not all of you, are going to benefit from having a block or a pillow under your head. So now the ball is going to be just under the airport, under the armpit, just on the top of the ribs. And you could if your hand can comfortably rest on the top ribs, you can let the hand rest there. And you're going to breathe into the ribs. You're going to exhale. And as you exhale, let the ribs melt into the blanket or the ball. And just do a few more breaths like that. Breathing in. And breathing out. 2 more like that. All right, now I'm on my right side. The right arm extends long. Now you may need to get rid of the block here. So we've done this before without the ball. You could keep a blanket here. You're going to, the knees are bent. you're gonna stretch the left hand beyond the right and then slide it back. Now, something to make note of. As you're sliding back, the hips stay just as they are. In fact, let's just pause a moment. That left arm is stretching away. You could always bend it. You could prop something here. The stretch is coming from, think about this top hip. The left hip is going towards the front wall, and my left shoulder is going to the back. And we're going to flow with that, but I just wanted to pause to emphasize keeping the knees stacked, keeping the hips stacked. And again, that little baby or the animal just stretching because it feels good. And so if what I'm suggesting doesn't feel good, then change it up however you like. And what you may find is that also that bottom rib, the right ribs, they're getting a little bit of a massage here too. All right, now pause, palm on palm. Left hand, top hand. Reaches up overhead. Slow, 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 slow. Notice when you get to that stop point. And then you rotate your palm up to the ceiling to finish the rotation, just 3 times. Now there's a lot to think about here. That left hip stays stacked. And just pause and just notice when you need to spin the arm bone in the socket. And then enjoy that pause, that stretch when you're at that peak sort of diagonal stretch. After you've done 3, pause here. We're going to reverse direction. So left hand draws down towards your feet. You keep going, going, going. You hit sort of a blocking point, bone on bone. You stop. Flip the palm up and continue. I have a couch leg I keep bumping into. So just do that 3 times. Nice and slow, noticing when you need to rotate the arm bone. And again, if that imagery with, either wild animals or young children, just enjoying the stretch for the sake of the stretch is helpful. So you've done 3. Now we're going to spin to the other side. We're going to spin belly or chest down. Now, slide it up a little bit higher so it's on your pecs. And if you're really sensitive, you could come, maybe a little bit higher up. And just a little swish, swish side to side. I found that when I tried to use the small balls, it's just too tight, I think, from all the weeding and pulling. But this soft ball feels really therapeutic here. And then you're going to roll onto the other side where you have the ball underneath the left ribs. And we work on our breathing first. So knees are bent. Hips are stacked. You take your right hand on the right rib and breathe into the ribs. Just 3 breaths. And really take advantage of that exhale, letting the ribs just engulf the ball. Now letting the right hand slide beyond the left. And so you notice the ball is rolling across that left shoulder area. And remember that stretch from the right hip to the right shoulder. You don't want any tingling or sharpness. So modify the movements, maybe take a pillow or your bolster and have it so that the arm can land on it. Just pause here. Now we're going to do the circle. So the arm comes up overhead. And then at some point, it makes sense to rotate the arm bone in the socket. And just do that a total of 3 times. And I really encourage you to modify. You know, let your sensations sort of guide any modifications. And then you pause after 3 and we're going to reverse. So the right hand heads down towards your feet. And then you get to that point, you just feel like you can't go. The bones are hitting each other. Rotate the palm up. And you might feel a nice stretch across the bicep. 3 times. And then you pause after the 3rd one. And then let's onto our backs. You can remove the ball. So we've got one more for the shoulder. And we'll just do this for a little bit. You'll take the balls out of the tote. And you want to try to find the meaty part of your upper back so that the sensation's not too much. You're also going to have your sacrum on this ball, and that will help you to just sort of control how much weight you have on it. So the way you get into this, the ball comes underneath, and so again, just come into this slowly, and if these are too much, just get rid of them. But you'll put them on the meat. So these are, you know, on my trapezius, and I have them close together. And first I just breathe, let my body kind of get accustomed to them. And then I'm going to use the ball so that I can roll up and down. And you'll see I'm coming, you know, close to my neck here because this is where I'm finding my tension. Sometimes the hair gets in the way. Again, just let this be guided by what feels needed for you this morning. And with this, slow is really good. The fascia responds very well to slow movement. And you may notice that the range of motion that I'm doing is very small. But as with all of this, if you want to just roll out your whole upper back, feel free. And just a couple more breaths here. And you're ready, we'll transition out of this. So you can slide the balls out of the way, lift the hips enough to remove the ball from the lower back. Sometimes after that, you're just ready for relaxation. So feel free to just drop into Shavasana. I will just guide you through a short spinal twist with the strap if you want. Sometimes it's nice to just close with the spinal twist. So you'll take the strap and I'm going to start with the right leg. It's just above the heel. And then the left leg is extended. And then taking that right leg over towards the left. And the right arm is extending out to the right. And think about moving that right leg from the hip away from you. So once again, finding space in between the hip bone and the lower ribs. And then inhale back through center, remove the tie, hug, knee. Enjoy 3 breaths. We'll take it to the other side when you're ready. Just allow that left hamstring to open, not rushing it, just and when you feel ready, that left leg comes across the right side of the body, left arm extends out to the side, and you could always put a bolster or even let your hand rest on your waist if it doesn't touch the ground and it feels like that stretch is just too much. And then think about drawing that left hip away from you. And then inhale back to center, the tie, hugging the leg for 3 breaths. And Shavasana when you're ready. Using whatever props would allow your body to find more ease. Allowing the exhale to take you deeper into this state of relaxation. Allowing your body to get heavier and melt into the surface underneath you just a little bit more. Allow your next breath to be a little longer and a little deeper. When you're ready, invite gentle movements into your fingers and toes. Let your head just gently flow side to side. Maybe noticing if one side is a little bit more flexible than the other. When you're ready, slowly make your way to your side and enjoy a pause for a moment and invite a sense of gratitude to your body for all it does for you throughout the day. When you're ready, making your way up to seated. If you'd like to join me in a chant of Om, take a deep breath in. Om. Namaste. Thank you guys.